A very warm welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're most definitely watching 3T TV, which is Thika's #1 online news channel, where we are telling the Thika story as it is. My name is Juliet Modhoni, and today we are coming to you from Edgewood Country Place that is located in Maboromoko, which is off Gatanga Road. Edgewood is a nice location where you can bring the family on Sunday for a family fun day, and during the week, if you have a function, they have a nice, wonderful ground that you can hire out. Be sure to check them out. So today I'm bringing you Countdown 2022. This is a forum where we invite men and women who are vying for different elective posts in Thika Town and in the larger Kiambu County. We have conversations with them and we ask them why they are vying and what exactly they are bringing on the table to us as the residents of Kiambu County. I hope that by the end of this segment, if you have not subscribed, I'll have given you a good reason enough to. So let us dive right into it. How are you doing?
I am fine. Thank you so much for the invite.
Thank you for making time to come and talk to us here.
Thank you.
Now, before we go any further,
Yes.
I'd like you to introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and a brief about your upbringing.
Thank you so much for that question. My name is Kelvin Nyamai. Kelvin Nyamai was born in Mombasa. We grew up in Ukambani, schooled in Moi University, and I am a resident of Thika since the post-election violence. We moved from Eldoret to Thika, and I have been there ever since, up to date. My career is in class, and I've been a lecturer for several years since I left Moi University. And I've told universities both in Central and in Nairobi, that is Technical University, Mount Kenya University, Karatina University, just to name a few, plus other small tertiary colleges within Thika Town. I'm a family man who has 4 kids, 1 wife. My wife is a Tanzanian. You can see I'm a cosmopolitan person, just like the way Thika is a cosmopolitan constituency where we have all tribes staying in harmony and doing business and making life end. So basically that is me. My experience has been purely in class, but also while I was in class, I patronaged so many different groups like environmental group. I've also championed issues of environmental awareness. I've worked with the Kiambu County government in terms of cleanups within the Kiambu County while I was in class. So I think yes, that is all about me, and
That's a good brief, and it's a good point to start. So you are basically a lecturer.
Yes.
Now, tell us, you're vying for a seat. What seat are you vying for?
Thank you very much for that good question. I think it's good to be very clear that I'm vying for MP Thika Town Constituency come 2022 August.
Member of Parliament.
Yes.
Thika Town Constituency.
Yes.
Being a first-time candidate, what is this that has brought you from the lecture room to now wanting to get into politics? What is this that you want to change? What is this drive that you have?
Thank you so much once more for that question. I think leadership is all about passion. Leadership is all about the will to go out and offer your services to your people without fear or without fervor or biasness. And I think ever since I was born, I became a prefect when I was in class 3. And I think all through till campus I've been a student leader in different departments. I've also been an HOD in several institutions, like Mount Kenya was the head of department. And in 2 years' time, I was able to transform a department to a school. So I believe my method of working is a great inspiration that can be extended outside the classroom to the people of Thika Town Constituency. Above that, I've also participated in different societal activities and I've seen the way I've been able to lead people, and we have done a lot of things that are beneficial to the society. So this drive, the passion, my level of education, interest of the cry of the people of Thika Town, and generally in Kenya, has really trickled me, or rather triggered me, to move out of class and use that knowledge, the skill, the understanding to lead Thika Town constituents better than the way it has been done. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I like the passion in your answers.
Thank you.
Now, you have mentioned a bit of your leadership roles. I'd like you to probably expound further. You are head of department.
Yes.
Which department is this that you headed? What changes did you bring about in light of giving us more about your leadership?
Yes. Maybe to go deeper into that question, I think it's good to be specific in this way, that when I was employed at Mount Kenya University, I worked as an assistant lecturer, and in about 3-4 months, I was promoted to a coordinator of programs. And in that time, before the first year, I was able to create another department of the same School of Tourism and Hospitality in Nairobi campus. So wherever I go, anything that I touch, it bears fruits. So definitely, when I come into politics, I'll be sure, I'm very sure that the people of Thika Town Constituency will not regret for choosing me. Awesome. Thank you.
Now, Thika Town is cosmopolitan.
Yep.
And there's a lot that usually happens in this town.
Exactly.
What is your vision for this great town of Thika once elected as a member of parliament?
Wow, what a great question. I think I've been dreaming and I've been praying, because I'm prayerful and I'm a God-fearing person, that if I'm given a chance, I'll make Thika different from the way it is since independence. What am I saying? I'm looking at my leadership in the various ways. I'll address the issues of education. I'll address issues of health. I'll address issues of unemployment, which is a major problem within the Thika Town constituency, despite the fact that we have so many industries in this constituency. Look at it from this perspective. I think when you look at the larger Kiambu County, it has so many industries. 50% of those industries are within Thika Town constituency. Why do we have a problem of unemployment? I want to come in with a very soft way of working with the corporates and make sure that we create employment for our youth. Having been a lecturer, I have seen the number of graduates who are going out every year. And this time, because of 3-semester system, we are producing more graduates in a year. We have 2 graduations. Where are these youth going? Especially for Thika Town constituency. So as a lecturer, I'm addressing that issue with a focus of making sure that even if we don't give the jobs, why can't we give internships which are paid for a start? And I think above that, I'll also look at the economic growth for Thika. What am I saying when I talk about economic growth? I want in my legacy, if the Thika people, you are listening and you can listen to my voice, I want to make Thika a 24-hour economy. Thika is a trading town, cosmopolitan, with people of diverse minds. And you can see, if we put Thika to a 24-hour economy, whereby we'll address this issue of creating double jobs. We work on shifts. I can work in a supermarket for one shift for 8 hours, then in the evening from 5 to around 6 in the morning, I work in a petrol station. That is the difference between us and Europe. And that's why people are saying, I better go to Europe for a better package. No, they have only put their economic systems in a better operational system. And that's exactly what I want to do for Thika. Something that has never been done. And I think sometimes back when I was driving from Kisumu, I passed through Kiambu town around 3-4. And business was happening. So I was so inspired, what if that can be extended to Thika? And I think the larger Kiambu County, we want to put a benchmark for this country. We want to start the issue of a 24-hour economy for our people in Kiambu, and more specific, Thika Town constituency. Above that, I want to look at the issues of environmental conservation. Thika being an industrial area, trust me, my sister, there is a lot of pollutant that goes out in the space. And I don't think a lot has been addressed on this. Being a student, a lecturer in the university, I teach a subject called Sustainable Tourism Management. And Sustainable Tourism Management talks about a sustainable environment, an ecology that we can habit nicely with our families. So I'll come up with the idea of proper controlled development whereby industrial areas are not within the residential areas for a better environment for ourselves and the youth and our children to come. I'll not leave around the issue of safety and security. If I'm talking about 24-hour economy, then the first key point I have to address is security and safety. Yes, a lot has been done by the leaders who have been there, I don't refuse, but we want to do better than that. We want to fit in their shoes and even much faster by putting safety and security for our people in Thika Town Constituency. I have gone around and I've seen there are some dark areas which are very scary. And if you have to make a 24-hour economy in this concept, then it means you address the issue of surveillance. So I will partner with various security organs, the police, the AP, and the bigger security department in Kenya, or rather in Kiambu, to make sure that we have frequent surveillance per ward, starting from township where there's a lot of business, next to the hospital ward, Kamenu ward, which is large and with a big residential population. I go down to Katuanyaka and eventually to the side of Guliba, which borders the Machakos County. Now, a more serious aspect that I'll address is the youth, because those are our today and the future leaders. How will I address this different from what has been done? If elected in office, with the knowledge and the skills that I have as a lecturer, I think I'll come up with some good programs and some projects that can help the youth. What am I saying? I will come up with a talent center in Kiambu County. And I've seen a simple talents like even art and modeling is a career. We want to come up with a unique talent whereby not only class, because initially when we were in school we were told education is the key, but we have seen there are so many other aspects like sports, which I want to pump more money and develop talents for the youth. We have seen several footballers like Marige and Kina Wanyama making a living, not because they have degrees. But that aside, I'm not saying education is not key. We want to see beauty with brains. So we can come up with a talent, a youth talent center in Kiambu. I want to build it. And we name it among, we'll come up with a good name for that. So I don't want to put a name for somebody. We'll deliberate on that. Then I'll look again further and engage the students, rather, who have just finished school in different aspects of life to avoid idleness, because idleness leads to bad things. So we will come up with areas whereby they can do boxing, they can do football, they can do singing, artists, etc. And then we fund them, we empower them, we liberate them from the problem they are suffering. And you find that life is changing. You only need to push somebody a little bit, place 2 stones, and they cross a bridge. Lastly, not to bore with so many things that I have in my mind, electrification is very important. I'll go down to those slums, talk about Kiandutu, talk about Umoja. There's a place called Madarau. There's a place called, what do you call this place? There's a place called, down there towards the Kware side. And other parts of Thika Town Constituency. And I want to make those places lit. Let them see the light of the urban center. Thika is not in the rural areas. It's an urban hub. And more so, before I finish, there's one problem I've identified when I was going around. Water supply in Thika is a big problem. And you know, water is a major basic need. I ask myself, why do we have water rationing? Especially the lower part of Katuanyaga and Umoja, Landless, all that side. I met a mzee in a pickup carrying about 30 jerrycans, and I talked to him. I was interested and asked him, are you selling milk? Then he told me, no, this is water. We have hardly had water for the last 5 days. And there's been rationing that has been seriously affecting our livelihood. So I have to wake up in the morning, look for water first before I go to do some business. So I want to bring that to the end, because Thika Town Constituency has 2 major rivers. The Chania River is here with us. The lower part of it, there is the Athi River. why can't we come up with unique, sustainable way of supplying water? And in my tenure as the MP of Thika Town Constituency, then I want to promise the constituents of Thika Town Constituency that I'll make sure that to eradicate this problem of water supply and rationing, I'll put up or erect some high-end tanks which will pump water down with gravity. If you look at the map of Thika, it's inclined towards the lower part. As you can see, the rivers are flowing on the other side towards Guliba. So definitely gravity will do us a good service when we have those high metallic tanks raised. It is be done, and we can do it in Thika. And this will solve the problem of mothers and fathers looking for water in jerrycans, but go out and perform. Thank you very much. I hope I've tried it.
That was quite elaborate.
Thank you.
And to correct you, you are not at all boring with all that.
Amen.
Because the reason why we bring you here is so that you can tell us all those things. And we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now, moving forward, we need to give credit where it's due.
Exactly.
And the current Member of Parliament of Thika
Yes.
has revolutionized things.
Yes.
And he has set a standard
Yes.
that we as Thika residents would not want to go lower than that. He has set a bar. How, in light of that, how then different will your leadership be as opposed to your predecessor?
A good question. One thing, I don't disrespect previous leaders, and I think that's the best way as a leader. Respect, identify gaps, and provide a solution.
Sure.
Yes, they have done their part. The incumbent MP engineer has done a wonderful job. And I want to come and continue where he left. What am I saying? In all those things I've mentioned, I know he has done it. And I was looking at the first key aspect, education. He has given bursaries. And I read about his plea about, can this constituency be split into two? We have East and West, because the funds that are granted are not sufficient. I will definitely support him on that aspect and work towards that, because I want to be able to empower our students to get education without challenges of lack of fee and all that. Having gone through the same, I've suffered so much in terms of being chased away from school because of lack of fees, missing your certificate because of lack of fees. I don't want any other student, because I've seen this when I was in college, whereby students are barred from sitting for exams. They go out and cry because they are not able to. And then you are forced to repeat because your parents are not, or your guardians are not able to pay fees. I want to empower the students to achieve their education through the CDF, because that is their money. We pay tax. Kenyans pay tax, and that money should be plowed back to the Kenyans, starting with education and also other groups. I'll also look into issues of old age. Actually, I also went around when there was census in 2019, and trust me, my sister, is that if you go deep into the homesteads of people in Thika, there are people who are living in absolute poverty. Some areas you can shed tears. I remember a place I went and I found a very old mama. I won't quote where and the name. And she told me in Kikuyu, they lay there for 3 days. Then I looked at her and she was tying a lasso across her belly. Then I almost shed tears. So there's a lot that we need to do for the old age. And that is exactly why I want to vie and go deep into that point where I saw, and make sure that I give them life back. I inspire them again. And what do I inspire them? Not what I have right now. I'll inspire them with what the government will give, plus my own, because I believe the salary for MP is so good. What if I spare 100,000 every month to go towards the old age fund? I can do that, because if I've been able to educate 3 students who are not my relatives in the university with my part-time allowance, then what can I do with some money that I'm paid and the fund that the government gives us? So those issues, I'll address those issues, because I don't think they have been addressed by the previous leaders who have come there. Again, I was looking at the trading areas. Thika is a trading center. You can imagine, historically, Thika was a trading point or post. The Ukambani side, the other side of Muranga. people used to come to trade in Thika. And actually that's why we're saying it's a cosmopolitan, people merge here for business. I want to upgrade. The other day I went to Makongeni and I went up of a roof and looked down to the market. It looks like a shanty. It looks like a slum. Leave about the huge debris of waste and the smelly air around that place as you shop. Everybody shops there, including myself. All the managers and CEOs in Thika, they shop there. And I want to do a very good upgrade of that market, not of course forgetting Mokiriti and others across my constituency, to make sure that these people are able to trade in a very clean, good environment for them to be proud of what they are because they pay tax. Good roof, whereby you don't need to remove your shoes when it rains and come with gumboots. I don't want to see people going to work with gumboots. I want to see people in their shoes in good stores. And I want to put this because I've gone around in Tanzania and I went to Dar es Salaam. There's a town, there's a market called Kitusuru Market. It is one of the best markets you can imagine. 3-story, is a small area. You can imagine what we can do with Makongeni, that large area, and Mukiriti. So I'm coming up with a system whereby we upgrade Makongeni to be a better trading point. Not to leave the other part of transport aside, we have the bus station. The bus station is the main hub for every person. People board there to Nairobi, they go to work, and to different parts from this town to other parts of this country. It is so dusty and very messy, especially when it rains. I want to come up with the first short-term project to upgrade and tarmac that place, or you put a curb on that, so that if you drive there with a matatu and you wash at night, because I know matatu operators wash their vehicles at night for a smooth start in the morning. But when it rains at night, it's so muddy. The second day you need to wash the car before the evening. So I want to come up with an upgrading, to upgrade that bus station to make sure that we have a better place for even the transport sector to work, because they pay revenue to the county. So that aside, again, I want to do things differently on the side of, what do you call this? On the side of environmental conservation. Being a lecturer, being a teacher, I know that environment is the backbone of life. And having been a patron of environmental club in Mount Kenya and other areas or other institutions, are patronaged, and we have done a lot, including planting of trees. But in my tenure, I want to bring up a unique system that I saw in Rwanda and everybody knows. I want to introduce a cleanup drive for Thika Town Constituency once I'm in office every month. And trust me, all the other constituencies will come and ask us. We want to set the pace. We want to be the benchmark for this country in my tenure. And that's exactly the legacy I want to leave behind. So with all that in mind, I am sure what my incumbent, the current MP has done, will receive glory at the end of my 5 terms, or 2 terms, or 3 terms. Above that, as a member of parliament, I'll be participating in the national government, whereby we legislate laws. I want to come up with a motion that I know many of them will not like, because I know most of our leaders don't like change. And I will push for change, because change is good, but it can be very painful. I want to push a motion that if you are given 2 terms in any post of any political leadership, leave for somebody else. Why am I saying this? Like the president, like the governors, 2 terms and you go home. The issue is, if you've given me a chance for 5 years, and then you give another chance for 5 years, why give me a 3rd time? What is that I can do in the 15th year, or 20th year, or 25th year that I did not do in the 10th year? So I want to push that such that we can get fresh leaders coming into our position. Let us not dwell in one position, because that's exactly what has been putting this country at the backbone. Thank you.
Wow, very well articulated. Now, as we come to the end of this very wonderful conversation,
yes,
I'd like you to now talk to the residents of Thika and give them your parting shot as you face the camera.
Thank you so much for having me. And I think I want to face my Thika people and listen to this. In front of you is a leader, a unique leader, who is going to provide several unique competencies that you look for. And what are these things I'm saying? I'll be a participatory leader. I'll not sit in the offices. I'll be a physical leader. More to that, I'll also have consensus-oriented kind of operation in my leadership, whereby I don't make decisions by myself. I'll come county to county. We sit down and you give me your priority. I want also to echo that I'll be accountable, like my predecessor, because he won the fire award yesterday, and I think we need to congratulate him for that. He won that award for Thika Town Constituency, and I think it was because of accountability, transparency, and honesty. That is exactly what I am. I'll also give efficient and effective leadership, whereby service quality delivery will be ushered or will be given irrespective of your ward, your tribe, your religion. But above all, I want to tell you one thing, that if you elect me, I'll serve you diligently without fear or favor. So please, come 9th August 2020, elect Kelvin Nyamai for Member of Parliament, Thika Town Constituency, and we live in harmony, we'll be together, and tujenge Thika. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for that.
Thank you so much.
And as 3T team, we wish you all the best. And if you clinch the seat, we'd like to have you back.
Thank you so much.
So that you tell us now how you intend to go on with your work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
God bless you, and I hope this is not the last time we're having this. The journey is still started. We have next month, we have the other months before August. So definitely, Thika people, there's a lot from you. Check 3TT. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kelvin Nyamai, who is vying for Member of Parliament in this great town that is Thika. Remember, you have been watching 3T TV, Thika's #1 online news channel. My name is Juliet Modoni. Until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.